Hey everybody, my name is Brittany and I'm going to talk about something I'm thinking about right now. Disregard the quality. This is recorded with a MacBook and a dream. What I was thinking about is the idea that nose piercings are not for everybody. And before anybody gets all up in the comments or in their mind on some, you should just let people live how they want to live and do what they want to do. I agree. Yeah, sure. Do whatever you want. But at the same time, I do think there are things to consider that I did not hear anybody talk about when I did my research on this matter. Now, someone may be like, what do you mean research on the matter? Maybe about 3 years ago, I pierced my nose on this side. I don't know. The scars went away. It wasn't really a scar, but I took it out within 6 hours. Putting it in. This could be a stupid story, who knows? But I'm just going to tell it because upon piercing my nose, I was like, oh, this is not for me. I got to retreat. So I've always loved the aesthetic of having like a hoop. And I would buy the fake ones and put them in all the time. And one day I was just like, you know what? Like, let's make this a little bit permanent. Like, let's get spicy. And I had looked it up online. And then the places around me weren't giving good vibes or reviews. So I was just like, I'm just going to do it myself. And so I had ordered on Amazon like this piercing kit, not a gun, because they were like, don't get the gun because it can rupture your cells and this, that. And I wasn't trying to have any mishaps because there's also something called like the triangle zone. It could be real dangerous piercing in this area because it could mess up your brain or something. From memory, that could be wrong or over exaggeration, but I remember reading something like that. And I was like, I'm just going to do it. I got the needles and I thought about it. I cleansed the area. I had bought some nasal spray, you know, the salt cleanse to do whatever in the pressurized can. I forget what it's called. And I did it at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I stalled for like 2 hours though. This is the thing, because I was like, oh my gosh, what does this say about me just piercing my flesh, putting a needle through my nose? But I did it and I took a picture of it. And this is the thing, I don't have any evidence of this. I have one picture, but then it's just like debatable. But I did talk to my friend on Snapchat at this time. And I had sent her the pictures of me with the needle like through my nose like this. And I was like, oh my gosh, like LOL, whatever. And we had started talking on the phone after. Sorry, I started popping my knuckles. That is low-key addicting. And I'm about to get off topic real quick because I just popped all my knuckles looking. I'm about to pop them. For the longest time, I would pop them like this. But then one time when I was in high school, this guy had grabbed my hand and he started popping them here. And I was like, I didn't even know you could, like, that unlocked a world for me. I was like, I didn't even know you could pop that part of your hands. And then I started doing it. And then one time, and I don't even know how I got people to do this, by the way. It was before class had started, and somehow I got everyone to simultaneously pop their knuckles at the same time. And I think about that every now and then. I just sit in satisfaction, like the man with the cigarette. He's like, I don't know. I did have a friend one time where it like grossed her out really bad, and so I tried not to do it around her, but then it became an unconscious thing. But I consciously was like, okay, not do this around her because it trips her out, and so I'm not gonna, whatever. Back to the point. Pierce my nose. And I got it through there after stalling. There's like a little tool that you like hold up to it. It's like, I don't know what it's called. I want to say forceps. I just know that's not the right word. But you know, like you hold your nose here and I stuck it through with the catheter needle. And then I put the jewel at the end of the thing and I boop, it was in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did it. And I was like jumping up and down. I was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this is very edgy of me. Like, I can't believe that I did that. But it didn't hurt. Like, okay, on the pain scale, it was like a 3 or a 2 even. It did not hurt at all. But it's like cartilage, but like people have different pain tolerances. But I was like, wow, and I did it myself. Like, oh my gosh, like that's so cool. This was during spring break, so I was like, I'm gonna come back to school and I'll have a story to tell. I did not have no story to tell because y'all, my brain would not let, it was just kind of like foreign object, foreign object, foreign object in body. I don't know, like that was me and I started tripping out a little bit because all of a sudden, like, you know how they say like, oh, you could always see your nose at all times in your peripheral, but your brain tunes it out after so long. I could not tune out the idea of this stud being my nose because I didn't pierce initially with a hoop because they were like, start with a stud and then let it heal a little bit and then transition to the hoop. But after taking it out and going through all the process, like, I don't think I would have ever been able to get to the hoop status. So I was just like, at this point, let me just stick with the fake jewelry. Because in my mind, I was already weighing the pros and cons of having my nose pierced. And one of the big cons was, back in the day, I used to struggle really bad with allergies, like seasonal allergies. Anytime the seasons would change, when it was spring and there was pollen, I would sneeze. There would be like snot and all that. And I was like, I don't know how that's going to work with nose piercing. I was like, let me try anyway. They're like, maybe I'll be good enough. I never went through that afterwards because I didn't leave it in longer than 6 hours. We're getting back to the point. And so it was in my peripheral vision. And like I said, it didn't hurt. But like when I would flare my nose or talk, because my nose can get pretty, you know. I used to get made fun of about my nose flaring. They would be calling it like, oh, the bullet barrel of the gun. It's like, okay, not too much. Not too much. Hashtag noticing. But I would feel it every time my nose would flare and I would talk or breathe. Like, I could feel the skin around the piercing. And that sounds so strange. It's like, because I have my ears pierced. And I've had them pierced since I was like a baby. And it's like, hashtag, I'm glad y'all did that for me. But when I put in ear piercings, and maybe it's because I don't feel my ear muscles if there's like movement there. Because I can like wiggle my ears, or I used to be able to. You can't really see at the top. But I don't know. These just dangle. I need to touch up on like anatomy and stuff like that, and biology and whatnot. Whatever touches on the different systems of the body and whatever you should feel. But I could feel like the earring go in when I put them in, but I don't feel the skin around the earring portion. And so the idea that, okay, this is something that's new, I was trying to get over it and I couldn't. I was trying to ignore the fact that I could see it in my peripheral at all times and feel it, and I couldn't. I was like, I don't think I could deal with this any longer. And so I took it out and I tried to put a smaller one in. They don't recommend this, but I thought I was doing something. I was like, maybe it's just because this is like I want to go a little bit smaller than what I went for. I couldn't get it back in. I didn't want to try to force anything. Like, I would put it in, but it couldn't find the other side of the hole. My brain was computing in such a way that made me not. I thought I wanted to give it a chance. But then once that door was closed, I was like, I'm not gonna. No gracias, no more. I don't know if any of that made sense. But this is the thing. If you have, I guess, sensory problems, and you want a nose piercing, like, do think about that and consider. I don't think I have sensory issues with certain things, maybe like textures and stuff. Like my body, I get like full body tingles, but in a bad way. It's just something to consider. And so that's what I mean. Like, okay, nose piercing's not for everybody because I like how it looks, but it's not like I can't replicate the look with like a fake or, you know, because like I have like pictures and videos. And I remember people like, didn't you have your nose pierced? It's like, yes, but like when y'all saw it, it wasn't real. I was kind of living a lie at that point. But when I was living the real thing, I didn't like it at all. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sitting here with me and listening to me talk. Bye.